Welcome to our online Senior Prize-giving. Again this year we're not able to meet in person, but I hope that this online version gives you the opportunity to join with us in thanking our young people for doing so well. Our young people this year have achieved amazingly well despite the challenges that this year has brought them. On behalf of all the staff, I would like to thank them and let them know how proud I am of their achievements. I would like to thank our special guest, former pupil Sarah Speak, for giving her time to prepare a presentation as part of this online presentation. And I would also like to thank our other special guest, Chief Education Officer Brian Monaghan, for giving the time to celebrate the success of our young people. I would like to quote the wonderful Maya Angelou. "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." And our young people this year have certainly not been reduced by the things that have happened to them. Indeed, they have demonstrated success and resilience in real adversity. And again, all I can ask is that they continue to be totally awesome. Thank you.
I think we should start by saying that although the year, our S6 in particular, hasn't been exactly the year we'd all expected it to be when we were just tiny S1s looking up to the older years for what was to come, we really made the most of it. When Emily and I were appointed last year during quite unprecedented times, to say the least, we were excited to see what our team could achieve given the circumstances. Through a mix of online and real-life meetings and plannings, we pulled through with some really creative ideas that we were all collectively very proud of. The 360 virtual tour and resources for the junior years being one, and the Christmas festivities being another.
We learned many lessons through the work we did this year, especially in the sense of creating a community among our team and the rest of our peers. Although S6 is a time to be independent and prepare yourself for the life beyond school, we got plenty of practice at being isolated for some time and working independently on applications and schoolwork. The year we've had also taught us the importance of togetherness. We've learned from the tasks that we completed as a senior leadership team and as a year group as a whole how important it is to support one another, especially when times are rough. Although our S6 wasn't the year that we'd all hoped for, we really made the most of it. From singing and dancing in the cafe to chats at the Blue Seats, we really became so much closer as a year group and proved how incredible we really are. All the memories, the laughs, the cries, the smiles from over the past 6 years are unforgettable, and we wouldn't change it for the world.
Although, with everything in life, there's obviously been some ups and downs for all of us, so I'd like to thank all of the staff for always being so supportive of every one of us. Although at times some of us may have not realised it, we certainly know now that all of the care and hard work that went into allowing us to grow and experiment as young people really means a huge amount, and we're very grateful. Emily and I would also like to thank a few members of staff in particular who really allowed us and our senior leadership team to flourish and try new things this past year. Thank you to the office ladies and Mrs. Valentine for always keeping both of us and Mr. Hamilton right, to Mr. Hart and Miss Billsborough for helping us to manage our extracurricular clubs, schoolwork, application and work as senior captains, and for continuing to challenge us creatively. To Mr. McAdam for reaching out and including our team within your work within the school, and of course for being so kind to both Emily and I. Thank you for always being there. To Mr. Cassidy for meeting with us to listen to some crazy proposals and for being always so supportive. To the fantastic group we worked with closely this year, every member of the senior leadership team has been a delight to work with. Thank you for working tirelessly through this madness and always giving everything your all. And of course, a huge, massive thank you to Mr. Hamilton for everything. We couldn't have got through the year without you. Everything we did this year was made possible because of you being so loving and supporting of us and our team. Even if loving was nagging us for never completing things on time or sometimes having to say no to our more outlandish proposals.
As we move on to the next chapter of our lives, we wish everyone at Stirling High School the best of luck, especially our fellow sixth years, and we hope that you create memories as wild as you have here. We are so proud of each and every pupil at the school and how far we've all come, not just as individuals, but as a community. Stirling High is such a special place and we are so lucky to have been a part of it. We want to say a massive good luck to the amazing Ella and Liam who we're passing the baton on to. You're so strong and you've worked effortlessly already to create the best experience for our new S1s. You're surrounded by a fabulous team who'll support you through everything. And a little bit of advice from us is to be passionate, be kind, but most importantly, be so proud of everything that you do. We can't wait to see what you come up with, and please look after Mr. Hamilton for us. He'll need it.
Good evening, my name is Liam and this is Ella. We have recently been appointed as the school captains for this coming year. Thank you all so much for joining us virtually tonight for another Senior Prize-giving. It's a shame we cannot see all of your faces tonight, but it's so important to recognise the incredible achievement in our school over the past year. We would like to take a moment to thank Emily and Sadie for coming back to deliver their inspiring message. Them and their team did such amazing work for the school last year, guiding us as a community through so much difficulty and making the most of a move to the internet. We can't think of a better pair to continue from, and we cannot wait to implement some of their amazing ideas from last year.
Despite the difficulty, our school community has achieved so much. We are honoured to be here tonight and would like to thank everyone for working so hard to make this possible. We have a school full of talented and hard-working individuals, and we cannot wait to celebrate this tonight. We also cannot wait to get started on all of the brand new ideas ourselves and the team have come up with, and hope that you notice our improvements over the course of the year. With this school year comes the introduction of 2 new houses in the school, Eccles and Snowdon, which join the existing Douglas, Randolph and Stuart. It is amazing to bring back one of our old houses as a testament to the rich history of Stirling and our school, as well as honour Mr. Eccles for a long time into the future. We now have 5 houses, which opens up so many opportunities. The house captains are very excited to explore this new structure and come up with some fun events and create some friendly competition.
The values leaders, along with the senior prefects, will also be starting some amazing projects which tie in with our school values of respect, responsibility and achievement. So far this year, the school body has demonstrated these values amazingly, and we will continue to promote these in the school. Each year, Stirling High School has a pair of school captains, and it is incredible to follow in such a long line of inspirational role models. We cannot wait to see where this role takes us and leave behind our own legacy. When we leave, we aim to make the school an even better place than when we started. We want to spread positivity, improve support services, and pave the way for next year's team.
We have been through so much as a community the past year, and no matter what happens now, we know that we have the skills, courage and determination to get through it together. We hope you enjoy your evening and join us in celebrating our amazing pupils. Thank you.
Our National 5 Subject Prize winners for session 2020 to 2021. Administration and IT goes to Caitlin Floss. Applications and Mathematics goes to Amy McDermott. Art and Design goes to Maeve Litton. Bakery goes to Rebecca Nichol. Biology goes to Freya Tinto. Business Management goes to Freya Tinto. Chemistry goes to Julia Kupchik. Computing Science goes to Julia Kupchik. Design and Manufacture to Maeve Littman. English goes to Freya Tinto. French goes to Isla Short. Geography to Hannah Coffey. German to Maeve Littman. Graphic Communication to Archie Oliver. History to Suyi Huang. Health and Food Technology to Amelia Kostova. Mandarin to Isla Short. Mathematics to Chloe Roger. Modern Studies goes to Isla Short. Music goes to Daisy Watson. Music Technology to Daniel Stewart. Physical Education to Shona Scott. And Physical Education Aesthetics to Caitlin Floss. Physics to Julia Kupchik. Practical Cookery to Elena Young, Practical Woodworking to Joe Coyle, Religious, Moral and Philosophical Studies to Ewan Burke, and Spanish to Callan Harrison.
Sails that are made of silk, the decks are trimmed with gold, and of jam and spice there's a paradise in the hold. My ship's aglow with a million pearls, and rubies fill each bill. The sun sits high in a sapphire sky when my ship comes in. I can wait the years till it appears one fine day, one spring. But the pearls and such, they won't mean much if there's missing just one thing. I do not care if that day arrives, that dream need never be. If the ship I sing, does it also bring my own true love to me? If the ship I sing, does it also bring my own true love to me?
I'm delighted to have been asked by Mr. Cassidy to speak to you today on the occasion of your Senior Prize-giving. I'm Bryony Monaghan, Interim Head of Education, which is a new role for me, but one that gives me the legitimate excuse to spend time looking in detail at the immense successes of the people in our schools across Stirling. So that I make no mistake here and don't forget to deliver my main message, I'll say right away that I am, and I know I share this with the rest of the school's learning and education team, so impressed with each and every one of you for your achievements that are being celebrated today and for the remarkable fact that you've achieved them in the middle of a global pandemic. Since Mr. Cassidy asked me, I've been thinking about the significance of moments like this in life, and I began to think about storytelling. As I said, I'm in a new job as Interim Head of Education, and every week I have to do something I have never done in that job. It can be pretty daunting. However, I try to use storytelling to help me with my day-to-day confidence and success. I could be filled with anxiety about the new challenge I'm about to go into on those days. Instead, my story is that I have had to do things that I've never done before, lots of times, and that I have learned from those experiences. I found a quote online by an author, Patrick Rothfuss. Everyone tells a story about themselves inside their own head, always, all the time. That story makes you what you are. We build ourselves out of that story. You've all done something remarkable to be celebrated here today. Maybe you've done more than you thought possible, or maybe you thought you could do better. But your achievements today can be part of your story about yourself. Today it's a very public story, and we are here celebrating with you, but it's also part of your private story that you use to build yourself. If you didn't achieve as much as you hoped this year, your story will explain that and boost you towards your future achievements. I saw another quote from Graham Greene, who you might have heard of. A story has no beginning or end. Arbitrarily, one chooses that moment or experience from which to look back or from which to look ahead. There's no deadline for achievements or for adding to your story of success. Anything you've achieved this year has been achieved despite the unique experience of remote and blended learning and attending school with social distancing and masks, and for some, periods of self-isolation, and that's a remarkable achievement all by itself. Over and above that, we're celebrating today because you've also achieved a wide range of successes with your SQA assessments and continue to lead the way through demonstrating the Stirling High values of respect, responsibility and achievement. So congratulations to all of you and very best wishes for the next page of each of your stories.
Our higher subject prize winners for session 2020 to 2021. Administration and IT to David Ramsey. Art and Design to Sydney Samuel. Biology to Holly Power. Business Management to Amy Wilson. Chemistry to Ella Mackey. Computing Science to Angus Henderson. Drama to Sadie Douglas. English to Anna McKinnon. French to Rosa Hamilton-Smith. Geography to Frida Kilgeorgi. German to James Clafferty. Graphic Communication to Sydney Samuel. History goes to Claire Robinson. Another history award for Lily Macbeth. Human Biology to Ella Mackey. Mandarin to Maciej Przlitsky. Mathematics to Angus Henderson. Mathematics to Mary Craig. Modern Studies Award goes to Katrina Richards. Music to Shuhan Huang. Music Technology to Mary Peck. Photography to Ayana Cullen. And Physical Education Aesthetics to Isla Dempster. Physical Education Award goes to Emily Melrose. Physics to Holly Power. Politics to Thomas Dalgleish. Religious, Moral and Philosophical Studies to Mark Ewart. And Spanish to Ellie Preston. Our Advanced Higher Subject Prize winners for session 2020 to 2021. Art and Design for Design goes to Ayana Cullen. Art and Design Expressive to Molly McGregor. Biology for Amy Wilson. Chemistry to Amy Wilson. Computing Science to David Beachy. English to Tegan Bainbridge. French to Emily Melrose. Geography to Samantha Thompson. German to Carla Subka. Graphic Communication to Harvey Cottrell. History to Tegan Bainbridge. Mathematics to Liam McQueen. Mathematics of Mechanics goes to Harvey Cottrell. Modern Studies goes to Anna Shields. Music to David Beachy. Physics to David Beachy. Spanish to Anna Kinsley. And Statistics to Carla Subka.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Speak and I was at Stirling High School on the old site from 1983 to 1989, which I appreciate for you lovely lot makes me sound utterly ancient, no doubt. In my final year I was head girl, and 3 years later my younger brother was head boy, Duncan Speak. So you'll see our names on the plaque at the front of the school in the entrance hall. One thing I would say though is I'm really pleased that Stirling High is continuing to change with the times, and that both of those roles now have from what I understand, much more inclusive titles, which is great. So whilst I was at the school, I played the piano and bassoon. I was first bassoonist in the Central Regional Youth Orchestra, and so had the pleasure of touring places like Toronto, which was amazing. I still love music, although my bassoon playing days are long since over. And when I left Stirling High, I really wanted to leave a legacy that celebrated musical achievement, hence the Sarah Speak Cup. After I left, I studied German and business at St Andrews, although I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do afterwards, work-wise or in life in general. But I loved German, and I thought having a business element to my degree would be useful. As part of my degree, I spent a year out in Germany working in marketing, and decided on my return to focus on German because I'd learned an awful lot working in actual business. So for those of you that don't have a plan, don't worry about it. I certainly didn't. Do, however, know what you're passionate about and genuinely interested in. And for those of you who do choose to go into further education, make the most of the friendships that you forge. I've just turned 50 and my closest girlfriends are still those that I met in Freshers Week, and we still know how to party. After I graduated, I hopped on bus to London and had probably about 16 different interviews over a week's period. Some with recruiters, some with direct organisations. And I got my first job in media sales in the tech publishing space. And I think that's what probably initially forged my interest in technology. I also made some very good friends and contacts in the sector, many of whom I've recruited to work for me since. And I think at that stage, in that first role, the best piece of advice I was ever given, which I would share with you and encourage you to also live by, was get very, very good at networking fast. And for me, it certainly paid off as I've been headhunted for every role since. I've now spent 25 years in the corporate world and 3 years working for myself, running my own business called Speak Up Consulting. In the corporate world, I've been privileged enough to work for brands like Google, where I was Technology Sales Director and then Strategic Marketing Director. I was then Director of Commercial Marketing and Research at ITV. So, as you can imagine, had a great time working telly with the likes of Anton Deck, Keith Lemon, Holly Willoughby, to name a few. And that's what enabled me to become the first Chief Marketing Officer for Clear Channel in outdoor advertising, where I led their digital transformation programme. My final corporate job, prior to setting up on my own, was as Global Chief Marketing Officer for a telecoms company called Truephone, where we established the first eSIM partnership with Apple and launched Truephone's first ever Internet of Things solutions at a massive event called Mobile World Congress. My work via Speak Up falls into 3 different buckets now. As a non-exec director, working on different boards, commercially focused consulting, and mentoring and coaching, which I really love. I qualified for a coach about 7-8 years ago outside my day job. And I love the variety and flexibility. But there's definitely a common theme to what I do, all of which is centred around human-centric, positive tech disruption, which is something I still get very excited by. So if I look back to when I was at your stage, 5th years, 6 years and leavers, I wish I hadn't worried so much about what the future held. Because if you're a decent person and focus on things that you genuinely enjoy, things will come good. I wish somebody had told me in my 20s not to sweat the small stuff, equally not to really care about what other people think of you. And I wish I hadn't been quite so much of a perfectionist. So one of the pieces of advice I give to the people that I mentor is try doing things at 90%, not 150, because the only person that will notice the difference is you. And there are definitely character traits that I've found useful over the years, both in myself and others. Kindness. I'm a big believer in karma, and good things happen to good people. Resilience. If you find me on LinkedIn, Sarah Speak with an E on the end, you'll notice that I'm a bereaved mum. And when bad things happen, we all make a choice to keep living life to the full or to merely survive. I have chosen the former. Enthusiasm. Throw yourself into things with gusto. And if you don't always get it right, learn and move on. One of the many things I learned during my Google years was to just give it a go. You may have heard of agile organisations or the premise of test and learn culture, which many other companies have now emulated. In recent years, people have been encouraged more than ever previously to be their authentic selves, which I'm personally really delighted by, having always been a very public supporter of the DE&I agenda. Schools, universities and businesses now provide much better opportunities for people to embrace who they are and celebrate it, which longer term I think makes for much more interesting levels of conversation and far better diversity of thinking in business. So I wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavours. I would like to leave you with a Roald Dahl quote which puts it beautifully. I began to realise how important it is to be an enthusiast in life. If you're interested in something, no matter what it is, go at it full speed. Embrace it with both arms, hug it, love it, and above all, become passionate about it. Lukewarm is no good. So take care, look after yourselves and each other, be your best selves, and thank you for listening.
The Special Award winners for session 2020 to 2021. The Dr. Canaan Memorial Prize for Music goes to Sadie Douglas. Sadie demonstrated a high level of commitment as she undertook keyboard lessons as a new challenge in S5 and S6. Sadie fluently learned a range of pieces with full finger chords and accurate technique. She attended all lessons and practiced diligently to achieve an A at NAT5, higher and advanced higher music. Sadie worked carefully to improve her keyboard and her singing skills. Sadie made significant progress as a singer in recent years and took every opportunity to learn, develop and perform to audiences. This outstanding level of commitment has ensured that Sadie leaves Stirling High School as an impressive musician. Sarah Speak Award for Services to Music goes to David Beachy. David has been a key contributor to the life of the music department throughout his time at Stirling High School. As a pianist, flautist and singer, he has taken part in numerous concerts and performances within the school and in the wider community. He was an enthusiastic and committed member of several groups and clubs, including the school orchestra, the Scottish group, rhythm and soul band and the choir. He has developed and refined leadership skills by contributing to the formation of the flute ensemble, providing piano accompaniment for choir performances, and providing creative direction for aspects of virtual concerts. David excelled in his knowledge, understanding and skills in music technology at NAT5 and higher level. David has been an inspiring role model to his peers and our young pupils throughout his time at the school. The Nathan Murray Collier Memorial Award goes to Tom Dalgleish. Tom Dalgleish has worked with the ASN department over a number of years and has shown considerable effort and determination in his school career. Tom's determination and work ethic while learning from home have resulted in him achieving excellent qualifications this year. Tom should be very proud of his achievements whilst attending Stirling High School. The Frank Wilde Award for Courage and Determined Optimism goes to Willow Church. Willow Church has shown determination to complete all of her courses despite facing significant challenges whilst learning remotely. Willow persevered and made adjustments to her learning which enabled her to succeed. She should be very proud of her achievements this year. The Jeanette Clark Memorial Award goes to Arjun Vaid. Arjun volunteered to support an S1 pupil with additional support needs every week. He was always prompt, eager and willing to adapt when necessary. Argent's support allowed this young person to feel valued and supported, which encouraged him to settle well into Stirling High School. The Gildry of Stirling History Prize goes to Claire Robinson and Lily Macbeth for a consistently high standard of work in history. The H.W. Ewing Memorial Prize for Creative Writing is awarded to Evie Oliver. Evie demonstrated considerable skill with her creative writing across a range of genres. Her final SQA submission offered mature reflection on her life with inventive use of structure to contribute to the overall effect. Evie's skills have been recognised in her SQA results, where she has consistently received very high marks for her creative writing. The Global Citizenship Award goes to Evie Oliver. Evie has a true appreciation and understanding of what it is to be a global citizen and has played an active role in making her school a fairer and more understanding place. Evie is a true linguist and has an excellent understanding of the French and Spanish that she has learned during her years at Stirling High School. It is evident that Evie respects and values diversity. She is knowledgeable of and works against social injustices, and we are certain that she will continue to be passionate about this as she progresses on to her next chapter. Her global mindset means that she is open-minded to learn about different cultures, can effectively communicate with people from these cultures, and is keen to share her knowledge of language and culture with others, having supported our S1 pupils in class last year. The W.G. Malcolm Prize for service to the school and the community goes to the school captains for session 2021, Sadie Douglas and Emily Melrose. As school captains, Sadie and Emily led their team with distinction. Their approach to leadership created an ethos of respect and community. Working with their team, they quickly produced an excellent online resource to welcome our new S1s into Stirling High School community, supported campaigns to provide information about our COVID restrictions, brought Christmas cheer to the whole school community, and helped move many of our events online. The Stirling Roundtable Community Service Award, presented by the Stirling Roundtable in 2007 in acknowledgement of work carried out in the school community by a pupil, goes to our virtual events team, David Beachy, Finlay Muir, Molly McGregor, Jamie Burke and Angus Henderson. The virtual events team worked together to produce many online experiences last year, including last year's virtual prize giving and our P7 and S1 information evenings. They also worked together to produce a very moving and memorable remembrance service. This allowed the whole school community, as well as members of the Royal British Legion, to join in remotely. The Confucius Award for Mandarin goes to Maciej Przylewski. Maciej is an exceptional linguist and shows an incredible passion for Mandarin. Maciej achieved an A at Nat5 and an A at Higher, despite only having picked up the language at S5. Maciej has supported younger learners of Mandarin as a language ambassador and volunteered to pilot an after-school Mandarin club for S4 pupils. While supporting these initiatives, he displayed excellent leadership skills and was an enthusiastic and supportive mentor. He's incredibly committed to his work and showed real dedication with all that he does. The Dave Eccles Award for Science is awarded for the first time this year. Dave was a much-loved colleague and friend who had a long history of supporting Stirling High School and our pupils as a member of staff and later as an invigilator. He'll be sadly missed. The award goes to Julia Kupchik. The Dave Eccles Prize for Science has been awarded to the Researchers in School Club for their extracurricular science work and has been recognised locally and internationally as making a contribution to the study of penguins in Antarctica. The club's work combines space science, physics, computer science to examine the ecology and the distribution of penguin colonies by identifying the bird's guano, more colloquially known as penguin poo. The work acted as a stimulus for scientists at the British Antarctic Survey to develop further the club's technique. Senior pupil Julia Kupchik helped lead the group and supported its younger members Callum MacDonald, Callum Richardson, Callan Taylor, Ewan Tortolano, Jack Warrington and Oliver Warrington to achieve the results. Julia was also interviewed for a radio news programme on the BBC World Service. The J. Lockhart Whiteford Prize this year is jointly awarded to David Beachy, Angus Henderson and Catherine Hendricks. David and Angus, during the 9 weeks of remote learning, stepped up and worked together to write computer scripts to seamlessly post daily attendance checks to Google Classroom, saving hours of admin time. In addition, their Wellbeing Wednesday checks allowed key staff to track the health and well-being of young people, allowing for timely interventions. What took hours of their time looked very simple to others. Their initiative benefited many others. Catherine had an exceptional year last year. She did really well in her exams whilst undergoing significant surgery on her leg. She persevered, managed to attend school and did it all with an excellent attitude.
prize winners this year, we have not been able to have the proper prize giving ceremony that we would usually do. So I want to extend my thanks to all of our prize winners, and particularly all their parents and families that have supported them throughout the years, and particularly this year that we've come to the academic end of the year has been very, very challenging for all of us, and to see the depth of achievement and the range of achievement is just absolutely outstanding. So well done to everybody. And we get to the point where we are at the end of our prize giving, that we would be awarding the ducks and our proximate acid. Now, a couple of years ago we surveyed our school community, and we've changed the way that we accumulate the award, in that it is now from the achievements of S5 and S6 together. So I'm going to move on to our proximate acid, which is the Latin fancy way of saying the person who has come next to the ducks in terms of excellence throughout. And I am so proud to award this to Harvey Cotterill for your outstanding academic achievements in S5 and S6, and of course all the extracurricular work you did in the school as well. If I can ask you to come forward, Harvey. And it may be no surprise, but for our academic session that comprises S5 and S6, our school ducks is David Beechey. Medal, there's one about that, and also for this, and you're going to get all these certificates too. Now I've got, because you're not allowed to take these home, we have now made these laser printed memorials of that for you as well, so you've got 3 of them to get as well. And this other certificate of your ducks. Well done, you're not going away empty handed. Well done, David.
And with that, we come to the end of this year's virtual prize giving. It was incredible to be a part of this amazing occasion, celebrating the success of such a wonderful student body. To create this video tonight required a large team effort, and we would like to take the time to thank those who helped make this so special. Firstly, we would like to thank all of the guests that took the time to watch tonight. We wish we could have seen everyone's faces, yet we hoped you enjoyed this just the same.
Secondly, a big thank you to our guest speakers for taking the time to address us tonight. It was amazing to hear from Sarah, as we are now continuing her legacy almost 30 years later. Thank you too to Bryony Monaghan. We are delighted that you are part of our story. As well as these inspiring speeches, we were also entertained by our incredibly talented musicians who delivered some excellent performances, highlighting the wide range of skills that we have here at Stirling High School. We had the pleasure of speaking with Emily and Sadie when they generously came to visit us at the school to deliver their inspiring speech. We are so honoured to be taking over from them, and the advice and wisdom they have passed down is invaluable. We and our team can't wait to make you proud.
Next, we cannot stress how incredible the tech team has been putting this whole night together. From recording speakers to editing and more, this would truly not be possible without their skill and expertise. So thank you to Angus for taking the lead on this and giving up his own free time to make this prize giving so special. Very importantly, we would like to thank all of the staff at Stirling High School. The achievement of all students would not be possible without the wide variety of support keeping the school running. Especially through such a difficult year, the staff worked tirelessly to provide an education to us online and make the return to school as smooth as possible.
Especially thank you to Mr. Cassidy for delivering his speech, Mr. Downey for presenting names in his usual enthusiastic manner, and to Mrs. Valentine, Mrs. McGregor and Mr. Hamilton for all of their work behind the scenes. Thanks too to Mr. Finn in the Technical Department for engraving the gifts for our special award winners. Finally, we would like to take a moment to wish the best of luck to everyone who has left us. We hope that your time at Stirling High School has prepared you well and built a strong foundation for your transition into the wider world. Thank you all again for your time and congratulations to all prize winners. We hope you had a great evening.